before Messi, before Pep, before tiki-taka. There was Johan Cruyff. But how does a player who won only one major international final still stand among the greatest in football history? Was Cruyff simply a genius on the pitch? Or did he change the game forever? The true answer lies deeper than the trophy count. Amsterdam, 1957. A 10-year-old boy, thin and restless, stepped through the doors of Ajax's youth academy. His name was Johan Cruyff. The city's working-class neighborhoods shaped his earliest memories, but so did loss. At age 12, his father died, leaving a void that would fuel his ambition for years to come. Family letters from this period reveal a child determined to honor the people who believed in him, channeling grief into focus. At Ajax, coaches quickly noticed Cruyff's unusual awareness. Always a step ahead, always searching for space. Co Van Veen, his early mentor, adjusted drills to suit Cruyff's slight frame and quick feet. By the time he debuted for Ajax's first team, on November 27, 1964, he was just 17, but already impossible to ignore. The following season, Cruyff exploded onto the Dutch football scene, scoring 25 goals in 23 league matches, a striking 1.09 goals per game. In a league dominated by physical defenders, this was not just rare, it was unprecedented for a teenager. Cruyff's numbers alone demanded attention, but his style, deft touches, sudden bursts, a sense for the game's hidden rhythms, hinted at something more than raw talent. The foundation was set. What followed would not only change Ajax, but the way football itself was played. Total football was not just a tactic. It was a revolution. At Ajax, Rinus Michels and Johan Cruyff forged a new blueprint for the game. The principle was simple on paper. Every player, regardless of position, had to be able to attack, defend, and most importantly, think. The 4-3-3 formation became the engine of this system. Instead of fixed roles, players rotated seamlessly, exploiting space and overwhelming opponents who clung to rigid man marking. Cruyff, nominally a forward, drifted deep or wide, pulling defenders out of shape and giving teammates the freedom to surge forward. Michels called him the brain of the team. He sees everything before it happens. Between October 1971 and March 1973, Ajax went 46 matches unbeaten, 30 in the league and 16 in Europe. The highlight came in the 1972 European Cup final, where Cruyff scored both goals in a 2-0 win over Inter Milan. By the time he had won his second Ballon d'Or in 1973, the world understood. This was not just dominance, it was a transformation. Barcelona's boardroom was in turmoil when Johan Cruyff arrived in the summer of 1973. The club had not lifted a league title in 14 years. In a move that stunned European football, Barcelona paid a world record 6 million guilders to bring Cruyff from Ajax, a fee debated fiercely by directors desperate for a revival. Cruyff wasted no time justifying the gamble. On his debut, he scored twice and set the tempo for a side ready to break from mediocrity. The defining moment came at the Santiago Bernabeu on March 5, 1974. Barcelona, led by Cruyff, dismantled Real Madrid 5-0 on their own ground. The match was more than a scoreline. It was a masterclass in movement and control, with Cruyff pulling defenders out of position and orchestrating attacks from deep. By the season's end, Barcelona had secured the La Liga title, ending a drought that stretched back to 1960. Cruyff's vision and authority on the pitch transformed not just results, but the club's very identity. The shock of his arrival and the immediate surge to the top of Spanish football signaled a new era, one built around the intelligence and audacity of a single player. In the summer of 1974, Johan Cruyff carried the hopes of a nation into football's brightest spotlight. The Netherlands, led by Cruyff as captain, swept through the World Cup in West Germany, playing a brand of football that stunned the world. Cruyff scored 3 goals and set up 3 more, orchestrating attacks with a freedom rarely seen at this level. Against Sweden, he unveiled the Cruyff Turn, a sudden drag back that left his marker frozen and became an instant symbol of ingenuity. Every movement, every pass, seemed to expand the boundaries of what was possible on the pitch. The Dutch dismantled Argentina 4-0, outplayed Brazil 2-0, and reached the final without ever trailing. In the opening minute against West Germany, Cruyff surged from midfield, slalomed past defenders, and drew a penalty before a German player had even touched the ball. But the dream unraveled. West Germany equalized, then took the lead before halftime. For all the Dutch dominance, the match ended 2-1. Cruyff left the field with the tournament's golden ball, but not the trophy. The paradox was set. An individual who defined the World Cup without ever winning it, remembered not just for the loss, but for how he changed the game in front of a global audience. From the touchline at Camp Nou, Cruyff built a team that would redefine Barcelona's history. From 1991 to 1994, his so-called Dream Team captured 4 consecutive La Liga titles, a feat no Barcelona side had achieved before. The squad, anchored by players like Guardiola, Koeman, Stoichkov, and Romario, played with a freedom and technical mastery that echoed Cruyff's own philosophy. The crowning moment arrived in 1992. Barcelona claimed their first European Cup. Koeman's thunderous free kick sealed a 1-0 win over Sampdoria at Wembley. These trophies did more than fill a cabinet. They proved that Cruyff's vision could deliver silverware at the highest level. Cruyff's methods became the blueprint for generations. At La Masia, youth players drilled one-touch rondos and positional rotations, learning to read space before they could drive. The curriculum demanded technical mastery and constant awareness, ideas Cruyff called essential for thinking footballers. Pep Guardiola, a La Masia graduate, later said that everything starts with Cruyff. Without his vision of space, our pressing and passing grids would never have existed. The deep-lying playmaker, now a staple in elite teams, traces its lineage to these early directives. Cruyff's belief was simple, that football is simple, but it is difficult to play simple. His philosophy endures in every academy session and every team that values intelligence over mere athleticism. Today, the tactics Cruyff pioneered shape every elite academy and Champions League contender. His legacy isn't measured in medals, but in the very language of modern football. For that, he remains essential.